Hello, this is 5:10 and this is Film Franchise Review Tuesdays with Sammy and DJ. Today I have picked the franchise of Spider-Man. I'm not going to bother with the 70s movie because it doesn't really matter.
Come on, a lot of people grew up in the 70s and that was their Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, but it's awful anyway. Anyway,
sure, no one can deny that.
Anyway, there was no villains in it. It was like a robber and.
All I remember is rope. I remember lots of rope.
Yeah, and he's really crawling on the floor, and they just. Anyway, I'm gonna start with the Sam Raimi's 2002 and so on. In honor, and we're doing this in honor of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer, which came out a few days ago. We done a podcast on that a few days ago, and it was awesome trailer. You should go and check it out. And first of all, I'm going to start with Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man. I'm going to start with the pros first. I think this is, other than X-Men, this is really the superhero movie that really is responsible for how many superheroes movies we have today. And Tobey Maguire's really good. You're going to say Blade, aren't you?
It is Blade.
I knew you were going to say Blade.
It is Blade.
It's
Come
not
on.
Blade.
You even knew that. You knew it was Blade. You knew I was going to say Blade.
Yeah, but Blade is more grittier than like the Avengers and all that.
Well, it depends what you're talking about. I mean, tone-wise, yeah, it's different. But anyway, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, okay, because we don't have a disagreement about Blade on a Spider-Man podcast. Okay, well, that's
I think it makes sense, though, because I think Blade's first appearance ever was in a Spider-Man comic, if I remember correctly.
That's for another podcast.
Right.
Anyway, no, it's really good, and as I said, it's responsible for a lot of superhero movies today, other than Blade and X-Men. So yeah, Tobey Maguire's really good in the role. As much as a lot of people don't really like Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin, I do, and I do like his costume. And I don't like Kirsten Dunst as an actress. I just don't like her. It's a good movie, but the cons are, as much as I like Tobey Maguire in the role, I like Andrew Garfield better in The Amazing Spider-Man, which is coming up soon, but still, I don't think he plays the geek fine. He doesn't play Spider-Man fine. I don't think so anyway. And
He's very sensitive.
Yes, he was, but I still he didn't have that cockiness about. He didn't have that like cheesiness, and he didn't have to. And maybe
was that his fault, or was
maybe
that
that's
the
screenplay's fault. Yeah. Sam Raimi directed this film. Fine. Still, it's not my favorite in the original Spider-Man franchise, but it's still a good movie overall. And overall, I give it a 4 out of 5. So it's not bad.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, it's not
that's
bad.
More than not bad.
It's just Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst. But anyway, you go ahead with yours.
The original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie was entertaining. I had issues with it. I wasn't a fan of the costume. I had no problem with
costume?
the Goblin costume.
Oh.
But again, I enjoy Spider-Man. I like him as a hero. And I would call myself a fan, but I'm not hardcore on Spider-Man, I guess. As you know, when I have read and a lot of Spider-Man comics, and my expectations based on that were, I was a bit disappointed by the Green Goblin. In fact, I was very disappointed by the Green Goblin costume, but I didn't care enough about that to let it really affect the movie. I also had a really, there's always I have a soft spot for that movie because I was in a few scenes as an extra. I was on set for quite a few of those
Were
scenes.
you?
Yes, I was.
Oh my god, what scenes?
Well.
Next time I watch it, I'm gonna spot out. I'm gonna look for you.
Well, if you have the DVD of the first Spider-Man, one of the deleted scenes during the Times Square thing, I'm one of the people in the crowd. But
so you weren't in the final cut?
I wasn't. Well, I don't think so. I mean, basically the part where Goblin's swooping down and Spider-Man's running away and he's firing missiles.
We were
at
in
him.
like 5
It's
milliseconds.
so it's like, yeah, really quick cuts, really quick. And the thing is, what I found really fascinating was that scene, which lasted like a second in the movie, took hours to shoot, and on set, the stuntman, what he did was so amazing. They didn't put it in the movie. He was actually, when he was being chased by Goblin, he runs and people start falling in front of him, and he starts backflipping. He literally just turns and starts flipping over people as they're falling, and stuff exploding all around him. He did that. The stuntman actually did that.
Shame it
I
wasn't
think
in the
he was
movie.
getting like $3,000 an hour for that, and
At least he got the money.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I would give that movie, I would give it a 3. Yeah, I'd give it a 3. Maybe I would give it a 3.5. Tops.
1.5/5. Spider-Man 2. This film is, to me, the second best superhero film. No, the third best No, wait.
Well,
Yeah, yes, it is
the
it
top
is the-
superhero films might have to come on another show.
But for me, Spider-Man 2 is the third best superhero film ever made, period. It's so much...
What's 1 and 2?
That's for another podcast. It's so much better than the first one. And even though I really, really enjoyed the first one, I really did enjoy Spider-Man 2 better. Specifically, and a lot of it's good too, but specifically, I think Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus is out of this world. He brings so much sympathy to the character and menace at the same time, which is a great balance that you need in a supervillain, because every supervillain has a reason other than the Joker. Every supervillain has a reason to that why they're doing this.
Yeah.
And I just think that's awesome. Tobey Maguire's better, I guess, in this one. It has a great plot surrounded by it. It's got some great comic book influences on it. Nice little Easter eggs in there. So I think it's a really good movie. And I would give it a 5 out of 5.
That's perfect. That's a perfection score. I agree with many of the points you made. I think what Spider-Man 2 did that really worked was probably the first superhero movie ever since Richard Donner's original Superman movie to truly embrace the source material.
Yes.
To just say, okay, you know what, let's just not be embarrassed about it, let's not be apologetic about it, let's actually try to make the comic book onto the screen. I never read Dick Tracy, so I don't really know if that did the same thing too. That did look like a comic book, if I remember correctly. But anyway, Spider-Man 2 embraced it, and it was better for it. It felt fun. I mean, the flaws or the issues I had with it are so easy to forgive because of the fun that it's trying to have, or it is having with itself, and you just are along for the ride. I mean, who'll ever forget that train fight? Who'll ever forget that? That was just amazing. So I wouldn't argue with your perfect score. I can't really give it a perfect score.
Do you not give anything a perfect score?
I do have movies that I would give a perfect score to.
Yeah, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
But what do you give Spider-Man 2?
I would give Spider-Man 2 4.5, especially with the extended cut that was out there. Both versions together, I'd give them a 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5.
Okay, cool. Spider-Man 3. This is a terrible picture. This is truly an awful film. No one can argue it. And the weird thing is, it gets 63% on Rotten Tomatoes. It should get like 7. This film is terrible. They ruined Venom by hiring Topher Grace. I mean, Topher Grace, of all people, to hire as Venom. You get the guy from that 70s show. Why? I mean, I guess he's good as Eddie. This is what casting directors have to see. They have to be good as both characters. He may be good as Eddie Brock, but he is not good as Venom. He is an awful, weird Venom, okay, that I don't want. Okay, Venom is one of the greatest villains, period, and he hasn't been done right yet. Hopefully,
but then that raises the question. I mean,
we're gonna disagree. Aren't we?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, not entirely anyway. I do think, the movie wasn't that good. I would give it, if it was out of 100, I would say 63 is fair, because there were some scenes I like. Again, I'm not that big of a Spider-Man fan. I'm not that a loyal Spider-Man fan, I would say. there was a lot of spectacle in there that I enjoyed at the time,
Yeah,
and my
yeah,
mind,
but-
I didn't really bring my mind to the movie. But I will let you get back to your point. I just wanted to say,
Yeah.
what was that? What was I? I don't remember what I was trying to say anymore. You said something.
I said Venom and Topher Grace and...
Oh yeah, the question is, now do you judge this movie as a fan based on your expectation of the source material or whatever, or as a movie fan just as a movie? Because you're talking about Venom and how he is in the comics and all of that, and it's fair enough, right? And but taking that aside, as a movie on its own, without the comic context, the source material, is it even right to judge the movie without comparing it? I don't know.
I don't know, but it'd be different if the film created Venom. I can't argue that because that's the film's character, but it's not. It's a comic character. It's a great comic character, but I don't hate it just because of Venom. I hate it because of emo Peter Parker too.
Dark Knight Rises. Sorry, I have to just throw it in there because the argument you're making about Venom is how I felt about Bane. That's not how he is in the comics, but they changed him. So it's the same thing.
No, they kept what I like to have is they have the core essential elements to the character.
They didn't have that in Dark Knight Rises.
They did.
No.
Anyway, that's for another time. Okay, I'm talking about Spider-Man 3.
We're not done with Dark Knight Rises.
No, but anyway, not just because of Venom. Emo Peter Parker, he danced down the street, and he
was happy.
I don't care. He punched Mary Jane in the face.
Did he?
Yeah, he punched her in the face.
I don't remember that.
He punched her in the face.
That sounds pretty dramatic.
This superhero movie mainly marketed.
When did he punch her in the face?
When they were dancing. He punched her in the face, and mainly marketed to the children. I'm guessing Spider-Man. Okay. Is promoting domestic violence.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, he still punched her in the face, but that's not a big problem. Still, I have problems with the Gwen Stacy. I don't like Gwen Stacy. I don't like how they handled
Spider-Man 3 sucked. We don't really even have to dwell.
Yeah, but
sucked.
there's one thing I did like about it. I did like Sandman. I didn't like how they handled the Uncle Ben's death and how it was Sandman. I liked it just be the robber, but Sandman, I like Thomas Hayden Church as an actor, and I like him as Sandman. But an overall score for me would be 1.5.
Yeah, I was like, eh. I mean, again, I can actually go in and watch a movie and appreciate an element of it, like this, the cinematography or the special effects. And I thought Spider-Man 3 had some really cool scenes, like Sandman forming. That was a really awesome moment. So I give it points for those things because
if it was on, if I'm at home tonight and I see it on and I'm in my room or something and I see it on, I'll give it a chance. I'll probably turn it off.
I wouldn't watch sit through the whole movie again, but I would skip if I could. I would skip through scenes because I liked some of those action scenes. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I
actually went to see it with someone and they fell asleep.
What was your score for that?
1.5 out of 5.
1.5. Wow, that's low. I would give it a 2.
Okay, but what are your reasons?
I think we both covered it.
So we agreed.
I wasn't disagreeing with you.
Okay, so DJ's score is
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Okay, now we've done Sam Raimi's. Let's go on to the rebooted, remade version of Spider-Man, which was just hit theaters last year. And I went to see it on opening day with my uncle, my brother, and my dad. And basically, I think we saw... Last year was a big year for me because I love the superhero genre. I love movies, but I also love the superhero genre. So you have films like The Avengers, Dredd. Dredd is awesome.
Go watch Dredd. Buy the Blu-ray. Please support that movie.
Please support it. Didn't make a lot of money. Please support it.
But it was good. Yeah.
So I saw The Avengers, and I like that, but that's for another... I saw The Amazing Spider-Man, and I loved it. Seriously, this is. I like Andrew Garfield better than Tobey Maguire. I just think I think it is a perfect Spider-Man film. It's not the perfect movie, but I think it's the perfect Spider-Man film. You have the core essential elements of Spider-Man which is in the comics. You have Andrew Garfield as the nerdy kind of outcast, and what I didn't like about Tobey Maguire is he was just a nerd. He didn't have any layers to him. Andrew Garfield had layers. Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker had layers. He was upset. He had depressing issues and his dad. And I love how they have the origin of the parents. And the post-credit scene, I just want to talk about the post-credit scene. That's awesome. The
Yeah.
post-credit
Well,
scene.
it was really mysterious. I didn't understand it.
Yeah, yeah, obviously, but that's what's so great about it, because when you see a post-credit scene, they release post-credit scenes to hype you up for the next movie, and that's hyped me up for the next movie. I was already going to see the next movie, but this is just a little extra bonus. They have a lot of Easter eggs in there. Rhys Ifans, I think that's how you pronounce his name, as Dr. Curtis Connor's Lizard. I think that's great. And a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's one of the greatest supervillain portrayals ever. I love the Lizard look. May look a little like... But no, I like it. I didn't like some things, like how they dealt with the what's he called? Dr. Rajit Rafa, or whatever his name was.
I completely forgot about
yeah, exactly. That's what. I know in a deleted scene, Lizard was gonna kill him. Lizard bit his face off in a deleted scene, which I would have liked to see. But the thing is, what happened was on the bridge scene, he crashed. He didn't die. Then you never saw him again. He disappeared into thin air. You never saw him again. I think
was that his last scene in the movie?
It's implied in like a viral site that he died. So he's dead.
Does anyone really care? I mean, who is he?
I care. Anyway, he's dead.
Yeah.
But I like the movie. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy's better than Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3.
Better chemistry.
Better chemistry.
Better everything, really.
Well, they're dating in real life, so I guess that helps. And Sally Fields, Aunt May, like it. Martin Sheen's Uncle Ben's death scene really bothered me. I didn't like that. I didn't like it at all.
Why? You mean like you don't think they did it right, or because it was sad?
No, I don't care if it was sad or not.
You didn't think they did it right.
They didn't.
You didn't have the impact it needed to have.
Nah, I mean, we all saw it coming. It was gonna happen anyway. I mean, Uncle Ben dies.
You can't be criticizing it for seeing it coming. That's like
no.
having a problem with Batman because his parents died.
No. It's just like, I don't like how they done it. It's like the way they done it. Like, oh, he stole some milk from the shop, and the robber's coming out, and the guy and Uncle Ben wants to. This 75-year-old Uncle Ben's gonna stop this mid-30s guy, and he's gonna get him and dead. Peter Parker sees it, and then Andrew Garfield's American accent turns into a British accent.
Does it?
It does, and it's just, I don't like it a bit. But other than the Doctor guy and that, I really enjoyed the film, so I'm gonna give it a 4. A 4.
I didn't know whether I liked that movie more or as much as Spider-Man 2.
Really?
Yeah.
So still, I don't know. Still, I don't know. But at the
you
moment,
gave Spider-Man 2 a perfect score.
yeah, at the moment,
Yeah, it could change. So
it could change.
Next week it could be different, right? That's how I feel, to be honest. So 4.5. This is the reason.
4.5.
Yeah.
Really?
It was. No, I'll give it a 4. I take it down because I did have some problems with it, but they were the kind of problems that I didn't really dwell on, you know?
Yeah.
You just sort of like, that was a bit weird, or that didn't really work, but what did work was just so much better. I loved that school fight scene, you know,
it's awesome.
Spider-Man's like wrapping the web around Lizard. That to me is one of my
and
favorites.
I love their dialogue together, and it's so
You know,
Stanley's cameo too.
That was fun. But I will say that the simple fact of having Spider-Man make a wisecracker to you is what elevated it for me. It was. I mean, it's such a small thing, you'd think, but it really makes a huge difference if you know anything about Spider-Man.
As much as I loved Nolan's Batman trilogy, that Batman needs darkness. Okay.
Yeah.
Not every superhero needs darkness.
Exactly.
Spider-Man needs an element.
That did bug me.
Spider-Man, in the Amazing Spider-Man?
In the first one, yeah, in the Amazing Spider-Man, that, you know, because they publicly said they were they were influenced by The Dark Knight, you know, and they made no secret of it, and going into the movie, you could see that influence, and it just didn't really fit Spider-Man.
But I did think they had a balance.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Otherwise, I wouldn't be giving the movie such a high mark.
I loved the when he webs the guy and stealing the car to the wheel. That's just it. You know,
it was a lot of fun to it. I would say, again, as a person who really really gets into the theme music and stuff like that, Amazing Spider-Man didn't really have a memorable one. It wasn't bad.
I liked it.
I didn't. Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not.
They've got
but it wasn't.
They got a different composer for the second one.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, yeah.
Part of me feels like it's a bit like a sellout.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers should have just kept him.
As much as you don't like The Dark Knight Rises, the music's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, again, I said on a technical level, the people what went into it was amazing. It was just as a film, as a narrative, it didn't work.
Okay.
So
well, that's for another time.
Yeah.
But
every time, man.
The Amazing Spider-Man for me. Okay, let's tally up our scores again. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 for me was a 4 out of 5. You gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I gave Spider-Man 2 a 5 out of 5. You gave it 4.5 out of 5. Spider-Man 3 I gave a 1.5 and you gave it 2 out of 5. 1.5 out of 5 you gave it 2 out of 5. The Amazing Spider-Man I gave it a 4 out of 5 and you also gave it a 4 out of 5. Now get to the question and answer bit of the portion of the day. I'm going to ask you some questions and you're going to answer it, and I'm going to answer it too.
Okay.
What is your favourite Spider-Man villain?
In cinematic villain or ever?
Ever. Just anything.
That's a good question, really.
Mm-hmm.
I never really thought of that. Because it's usually the relationship he has with the villain that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say favorite villain. I find Doc Ock fascinating, but I don't think anybody brings the threat level to Spider-Man more than Carnage, because Carnage is somebody who really goes after. So as a villain, going for what villainy means, I think it has to go to Carnage or Venom. God, I gotta pick one, right?
Yeah.
I would say.
Do you want to say? Okay, Carnage.
Yeah. Because Venom, he's a bit more of an anti-hero now.
Carnage. You say Carnage, I say Lizard. I love Venom. Venom is a very close one for me. But my favourite is Lizard.
Venom is almost like Catwoman to me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you can call him a villain, and he is villainous at times, but he's almost balanced out to this point.
Yeah. And Catwoman is very like Batman, in a way. If you with the black costume, the kind of ideals, and Venom is a lot like Spider-Man with costume. What is your favorite? Do you prefer Andrew Garfield or do you prefer Tobey Maguire?
I think we both agree on that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Have you seen the TV shows? Yeah.
I have seen some of them. No.
Okay. What is your favorite?
To be honest, I've really only seen Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular Spider-Man's amazing.
I felt like that was all I needed to see.
That got cancelled, and I don't know why. I
right.
prefer it. Did you see the original animated series in the 90s?
I've seen parts.
That's good, but the Spectacular Spider-Man is better. I went to Rome this year, and obviously I went to Rome, and I went to this apartment. The TV only showed Italian, so I went on iTunes and I downloaded the Spectacular Spider-Man. I thought, I'll watch this just for fun. I bought the first series, and I was there for a week, yeah? I bought the first series, and the first series had like 11 episodes. I ended up going through those in like 2 days, because I couldn't stop watching them. Then I got the second series. It's just such a great show. Yeah. It's one of my favourite shows.
I made my friend watch it. That's saying something, because I'm a grown man, and I was like, look, I know this is animated, but trust me, it's just really good. And
and the Venom storyline in that is great.
Everything about it was good, and I liked how it incorporated scenes from the live action films as well, but in animated form. And I would say, as an animated show, it has easily the best action sequences I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up now. We've gone way over time, and this has been Film Franchise Review Tuesdays with Sammy and DJ.
See you next week.
See ya.
Peachy.